Diana, and I'm working with the Language Link London, which is the coordinator organization for this project. More or less, we're all here, and I suggest that we are going to start. Before that, I need to let you know that unfortunately, we had another problem when Margaret's mobile phone, when she recorded a video, fell off the window and actually smashed. So we will retrieve the information from the cloud, but it will be uploaded within a day or so on the website. Unfortunately, it won't be able to be done today. So I do apologize, but that is the situation. So today we're going to have Lucy presenting her module, Carlos presenting her modules, and Nadia presenting the module. So am I right to think that Lucy is the first one to present the module?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Lucy, tell me when you want me to go ahead to start the video, and I am ready to roll.
Okay, so let me greet everyone first. Hello, my name is Lucy Brzáková. I am from the Czech Republic. I work in a little association that is called ProEduca, and it is an association that associates education enthusiasts. And we are focused, and our expertise is in innovation teaching methods. We have been working like this for more than 10 years now, and we have put all our up-to-date skills and knowledge into this module when we were preparing it for you. So I believe you will enjoy it. And Diana, go ahead. Thank you.
I'm ready to roll. Okay, give me a second. Da, 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 da. Let me just open it up first. And it's module 4. And it is Lucy. Can you all see?
Hello.
Wait.
Not yet.
No, you can't see yet? Okay, let me just...
No.
Hello? No. Share. Let me just share it now. Share the screen. Yes. Can you see now? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, ready to roll.
This video, which is one of the video series prepared for you in the project Women in the Social Enterprise Development. My name is Lucy Brzáková. I'm from the Czech Republic. Director of ProEduca, which is an association working in the area of education innovations. This module will consist of 2 parts. In the first one, I will lead you through the content and show you what are you going to learn in this module. The second part will be dedicated to a short overview of the training material that we prepare for you to study.
Women in Social Enterprise Development. Module 4, Sense of Initiative and Social Entrepreneurship.
In many countries across the world, women are much more involved in businesses with a social impact than in traditional companies. In several European countries, social enterprises have more women leaders than any other kind of enterprise. Why is that the case? And what happens when they lead? Major difference that was found between male and female-led social enterprises seemed to indicate that women were actually more innovative. Women-led ventures seem to be more likely to open up new markets, that is, when starting up, providing a product or service which no one else, at that time, provided. This suggests that perhaps, due to their specific sensitivity towards social needs, women social entrepreneurs are notable the lead innovators when it comes to social innovation. On the other hand, female-led social enterprises are also generally more participatory in terms of management, suggesting the power of women social entrepreneurs to empower others, and in doing so, enabling colleagues to learn and develop important talents and skills. 3 sections of this module will lead you through the 3 areas of competencies that make one a social entrepreneur. Competencies enabling to start a new business. Competencies supporting management processes. And competencies helping to be a good leader of your team. There are many questions you may have in order to understand fully your own attitudes, skills, and knowledge necessary to be truly entrepreneurial. In this module, we will try to answer the most important ones, and thus help you to get ready to start your enterprise.
Section 1. Key factors needed to start a social enterprise.
In this section, you will learn what needs to be considered when starting a social enterprise. You will get to understand what initiative means and how to take the initiative. We will show you some examples on what it means to be active, independent, and innovative in personal and social life, and in work. You will get to know how to accept the innovation and change. You will also learn how to identify the opportunity.
Unit 1. Capacity and knowledge needed to establish a social enterprise.
What is a social enterprise? Let's dive into it. It's a cliche, but you really must be the change you wish to see in the world. Social enterprises are businesses that put their values at the heart of what they do. They focus on people as well as profit and exist with a dual purpose to benefit society or the environment as well as making money. Social enterprises are at their core social. Their aim is about improving society. Your idea could be a cafe that gives its profits to the homeless, or a charity that donates water to developing countries. Social enterprises are slowly growing throughout the globe. It's really a movement that is changing the way we do business.
Unit 2. Innovation capacity in the company.
Whether is it inventing a new product or coming up with solutions to a problem, innovativeness requires creativity, because one has to be capable of connecting abstract ideas and facts with existing scenarios before creating something unique and different. Granted, we are all wired differently. Some of us are blessed with the natural inclination towards innovativeness and creativity, but this doesn't mean that we cannot do anything to stretch the limits of our creative minds. Build a firm foundation in what you intend to innovate. You must keep yourself up to date with the existing tools and technologies applicable to your innovation. Make it a habit to read up on the relevant literature and participate in online communities and discussions to further your knowledge with people who share the same interest. The thorough understanding of the field you are interested in innovating in, you would have a sharper eye in recognizing possibilities and be more adapted at interlacing different ideas together.
Genius, 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Accordingly, a genius is often merely a talented person who has done all of his or her homework. Thomas Alva Edison. Unit 3. Opportunities, challenges in social entrepreneurship.
We don't need to create opportunities. Rather, we need to decide which ones to pursue in each moment. How do we know our best opportunities? Consider driving in highway traffic. When you want to pass someone, how do you know when to pull out? Which hole is yours to take? And what happens if you don't take it? Your driving experience and inner wisdom help you to make that decision on a routine basis. You identify your opportunities to pass based on current conditions. And the same is true of any other opportunity in life or business. Opportunities are openings to get to your next place of being. Often, opportunities involve some degree of growth in order to be able to take advantage of and sustain it. And if you have a karmic agreement to grow in an area, you will have continuous opportunities appear over your lifetime to help you learn what you need for your next level. And once you get whatever it is that you needed to learn, you graduate to your next set of opportunities.
Section 2. Management of social enterprise.
In this section, you will get to understand the role of creativity, proactiveness, and initiative in social enterprise development. You will learn how to motivate ourselves as well as the others. You will also get to understand how the money flows in social enterprise. And finally, you will discover the ethical attitudes of enterprise.
Unit 1. Be proactive and take initiative. There are 3 types of people in this world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. Mary Kay Ash, American businesswoman.
Let's have a look at some interesting findings of researchers seeking the relation between the initiative and social enterprise. Findings revealed a positive and significant association between personal initiative
Hello, has something happened to the volume?
Diana, something happened. Yes, we don't hear anything.
in their businesses. They solve social problems.
Unit 2. How to make business in a world-friendly way.
Ethics have a huge role to play in business, as they give a guideline as to which business practices are socially and morally acceptable, and which are not. In cases where there are no laid down rules as to the right and wrong ways of doing business, ethics fill in the gap and give the much needed direction. Ethical behavior and corporate social responsibility can bring significant benefits to a business. For example, they may attract customers to the firm's products, thereby boosting sales and profits. Make employees want to stay with the business, reduce labor turnover, and therefore increase productivity. Attract more employees wanting to work for the business, reduce recruitment costs, and enable the company to get the most talented employees. Attract investors and keep the company's share price high, thereby protecting the business from takeover.
Unit 3. How to reach the goal.
One of the biggest challenges in meeting any goal, whether it is related to productivity, waking early, changing a habit, exercising, or just becoming happier, is finding the motivation to stick with it. If you can stick with a goal for long enough, you'll almost always get there eventually. It just takes patience and motivation. How does motivation work? Motivation is what drives you towards a goal, the one that keeps you going when things get tough, the reason you get up early to practice or work late to finish a project. There are all sorts of motivations, of course, from positive to negative. If a teacher threatens you with a bad grade, you probably will learn more, and that's all motivation. Positive motivation works better if it's something you really want to do. You'll do a lot better than avoiding something you do not want.
Unit 4. Financial management for social enterprise.
Achieving financial stability is a lifetime goal for us all. For some, it's just within grasp, while for others it may be slightly further away. The road definitely gets a whole lot rockier. However, when you're starting up an enterprise, especially one where your goal is social impact first, managing your personal finances and those when you're running an enterprise are more similar than you'd think. You may have different forms and levels of income and expenditure, but you have to learn how to budget well with both. It's extremely challenging to get the balance right between ensuring you're achieving social impact and ensuring you make enough revenue to not only sustain the social enterprise, but to also allow growth. Employ the services of a competent accountant to handle your payroll. This will make life much smoother. And do your best to adapt a reserves policy so that you have a contingency plan for any money problems related to tax or paying staff.
Section 3. Leadership in social enterprise.
In this section, you will learn about the role of leadership, also how to plan and organize processes, and how to manage teams in a social enterprise. The role of a social entrepreneur is a good starting point to explore the pros and cons of running a social business. Challenge of retaining financial stability while utilizing commercial practices to actively develop social impact brings unique leadership and management challenges. The role of a social entrepreneur may be split into 3 core themes: societal leadership, strategic organizational management, and personal leadership. Each of the 3 roles brings unique challenges and considerations for the social business leader. The roles should not be seen separately, but as a whole. The good social entrepreneur therefore strives to combine practices and personal qualities that address each role optimally.
Unit 2. How to manage a team in a social enterprise.
Top key challenge, building a management team, mainly consists of 3 elements: external recruiting, internal leadership development, and retention. Leading a growing and maturing social venture, every founder will need strong support at a certain stage, be it due to missing managerial knowledge and experience to focus more on the mission, instead of administrative tasks, or just due to the sheer size and complexity of the scaling organization. 5 key roles in the social enterprise leadership team are: evangelist, carries deep passion for the organization's mission, convinces others and rallies external support, identifies new opportunities for the organization, maintains the organization's culture, scaling partner, develops and implements strategies to realize the vision and mission, realist, brings strong skills in accounting and implements financial systems adapted to the organization's size and structure. Connector, gives targeted coaching and feedback in their areas of expertise and connect employees with others on their team. Program strategist, brings strong expertise and experience in the field of work of the organization. Ensures programs are designed for maximum impact and that impact gets measured. Supervises programs and drives quality assurance.
So now that you have learned what is going to be the content of this training module, I would like to show you the training material that we prepared for you to learn from. Let's have a look at it. This is the opening page that you probably remember from the previous videos. The exact name of the training material is Innovative Tools for Women Empowerment in the Social Enterprise Context. And you can see that there are 7 modules in total in this training materials. Ours is number 4. When we go further, on the next page, you can see the list of project partners, organizations that worked on the training material and in the project, of course, and a list of the professionals, the people who prepared this training material for you. I am not going to go through all the pages because there is the introductory page and maybe some explanatory page to the whole training material. But what I'm going to show you is how the exact training lesson looks like. So let's have a look at the opening page to the module 4. It shows you the 3 sections that we talked about earlier. We go through it, and this is the page that I want to talk about. Each section is composed of these 4 parts. If you don't remember from previous videos, I would like to explain once more. Each page will be marked with one of these icons. The red icon will be the red circle, will be the sign for the opening page of the training unit. We call it the focus page, and on this page we will be explaining the basics, the core of the topic. Then the further pages will be marked by blue circle, and these are about widening your knowledge. So on these pages we will go deeper into the topic and explain everything what was open on the red page. Then we have the surf page, and this is very important and interesting page for you, because on this page we tried to put together all interesting links that we stumbled upon when we were preparing the training material for you. Sadly, this training material is not big enough to insert everything right into the training materials, but on this page you can find links that will lead you directly to those media that we would like to share with you. I will show you further. And finally, the pages marked with yellow circle are going to be the exercise pages. We call them test pages, and it simply means that on these pages you are going to exercise your knowledge, and you can do it either yourself or in a group. The very last page of each section is the page marked with this icon, and this means the page where very interesting motivational quotes or inspirational quotes are gathered. These quotes have been said by important politicians, businessmen, teachers, philosophers, even actors, simply anyone who had some interesting thing to tell you and that would inspire you for further either learning and study or in your work. So let's go and go through at least one section so that you see all the pages and the structure as it looks like. Section 1 starts with the set of goals. Here you can see the goals that we set for us to accomplish. So this is what we want to teach you. So this is what you are going to learn. And under this, you can see the index marked with all the icons that we talked about before, and the page where you can find a concrete unit and the title of the unit. You can see that the section 1 will end with a set of exercises and again the inspirations. Now, here is the unit 1. You can see it starts with a title, with the focus, which in this case is a step-by-step process, and with the keywords. And here is the explanation of the keywords with the list of the, with the link to the source of this explanation. And here are some opening facts about the unit topic. Unit topic is capacity and knowledge. So here we go through the capacity and knowledge, and on the blue pages, you can see the blue circle over here. We will go through the deepening things that will lead you through entire topic till the end. You can see that this unit is quite long. It is 4 pages long. And this is the page I told you about. It consists of interesting links. And for example, you can see this is a video speaking about what it means to be a social entrepreneur. This is again explanatory animated video on how to start a social enterprise. You can see the speech of Greg Overholt at TEDx Youth in Toronto. You can see another interesting speech of some important people. You can see some 6 favorite social enterprises, or the case study from IKEA, or the text about the 3 reasons behind the strategy to create positive social change, and so on. Simply on this page, you can see the title, capacity and knowledge. And this question is always the same in each of these links, but each of these links provide different answers. So we strongly suggest you to go and study all these links and discover what is behind all these different answers. And that's the end of Unit 1. Then we can go through Unit 2, which is the exact same structure. So let me just go down through entire section 1. And the structure is always the same until we come to the page here, page 23, which is the exercise page. In this section, we will go through several activities. You can see activity number 1. Can you think outside the box? It gives you the answer. Then activity 2, train your imagination and creativity. And again, you will go through the exercise yourself and learn something about your creativity. Then activity 3 is the pictogram pool. This activity is about all these pictures you could see inside the training material. Then you can discover what kind of mindset you have if you make this exercise. And the last exercise in section 1 is about the stroke effect, which you can discover while doing the exercise about the word patterns. So, and that's it. And the very last page of this section is the inspirational page, quotes. You can see Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Napoleon Hill, Warren Buffett, and many more had something to tell you about the topic of the social enterprise. And then the section 2 starts. So the structure of section 2 is the very same structure as we saw in section 1. So we start with goals. Beneath it, you can find index with the exact parts of this section. And then unit 1 with red page, blue pages, and the page with the collection of movies, videos, songs, books, and so on that we liked and recommend to you. Again, the question is always the same, proactiveness and initiative, but everyone has a different answer to help you to understand the topic. And again, section 2, let me go quickly through it. Section 2 has 4 units, so it is a little bit longer. This is the section 2, unit 4. And here we are in the end of unit 4, and you can see the links to interesting things. And again, here you can see the exercise pages where you can put together your action plan. Then we will work a little bit about the innovation capacity of yourself. And then we will a little bit of the philosophers. We will talk about what would happen if there is the explanation. Then further activity is about the meeting seating chart. And finally, the inspirations. Again, different people had something to tell you about the content of section 2. And then section 3 starts, and again, we're setting goals. You can see the index, and we go through 2 units of this section, which speaks about leadership. Opening pages are quite long in this case. We have these interesting links to different answers. And then unit 2 about the teamwork in social enterprise. And again, the learning text that will lead you to the link page. You will study these topics a little bit further while watching the links. And then we have exercise pages. And here we have activity 1 about goals in the organization, and activity 2 about the decision-making process. Activity 3 is about making choices. And activity 4 about your role in a team. The very last page of this unit section and the training material is dedicated to inspiration. And again, several important people had something important to tell you on this topic. So this was the training material that reflects exactly what we talked about in the previous explanatory part that showed you and explained the content of Module 4, that is about entrepreneurship and initiative in social enterprise. What to say in the end of my presentation? I'm very happy that we could spend these couple of minutes together. And I would be very grateful if you could make use of this material, because we put our heart in it to preparation, and we would be very, very happy if it helped you either in your further study or in your business. So good luck.
Thank you, Lucy. Okay, now we are going to module 5, which is Carlos. And no, who's module 5?
No, me.
Nadia, sorry, forgive me,
Me.
Nadia. Okay, so tell me when you're ready and I'll go.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. And I invite you to have a quick look through module 5. Before I start, like my partners, I would like to introduce briefly myself. So as I said, my name is Nadia. I come from Paragon Europe, which is an organization here in Malta working on entrepreneurship, working on startup businesses, as well as capacity building as part of our work. Through this project, we have designed and prepared the training material that you will be listening to now and reading later on. So Diana, you can start.
Ready, steady, go. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm now going to share it. Sorry. Share my screen. Wait a minute. Sorry, let me start it off first. Okay, here we go. Module 5.
Morning. And welcome.
Wait. Okay, let me share it. And go. Can you see? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can see.
You can see, right. I'm starting now. Okay.
In our series of the WISED projects. This module looks at cultural awareness and solidarity in social enterprise. My name is Nadia Toma. I come from Paragon Europe, and I'm going to take you through this module. The module has 3 sections listed here. First is to look at the development of social networks. Secondly is to develop a business model that is of a sustainable and social nature. And thirdly, we will be looking at the monitoring and the evaluation of social awareness and solidarity. This slide presents the modules in detail, and you will find the detailed information of each section of this module by logging into our project website. So let's look first at social networks. Growing up, we learned that networks, whether of friends or community, are extremely important. This translated into the business community, we learned that it is even more important because our businesses depend on the networks that we develop or establish over time. Today, we work mostly with social networks. So social networks are virtual communities that exist on platforms on the internet, and they help to create social relationships between members of the same community or members that share common interests. They give us free services, creating profiles. They help us to upload images as well as videos, and therefore we are able through these channels to comment and take action on each other's activities. Social networks are virtual communities that can be locally based or internationally based, and they help us to establish a name. They help to bring business our way, and therefore through social networks we establish our own brand or reinforce our own brand, and also help to bring about brand loyalty. When looking at social networks, we need to look at two important aspects that are related. First is the issue of privacy. Privacy is extremely important, and as entrepreneurs, as people managing our own social networks, we need to be careful whom we work with and whom we allow to come into our network. The other point is that we need to protect our intellectual property, which as a result of social media today can be, let's say, more prone to being abused. And there are ways and means how we can protect ourselves. Again, more details can be found in our training manuals. We now come to define the different types of social networks. So there are three main types. These are websites, blogs, and forums. So websites, we're quite familiar with them. Okay, they are set up as the first step, let's say, for our businesses. They drive business, they help us to build our image and to establish our name in the market. Blogs are used to share articles, share information, as well as they help us to build a name for ourselves as a social network. So we write articles with authority on specific topics that we are familiar with, and these help to establish our name on the World Wide Web. Fora are discussion groups, and these can be informal or formal, as much as the community itself would like them to be. Then we have the grouping of social networks can be either a horizontal or vertical. A horizontal network is a network like Facebook, which is not surrounded around a definite team. Whereas a vertical network is located in social sphere, and it is grouped along different teams. So for example, if we take LinkedIn as an example, we know that LinkedIn is around groups of people who share common interests or professions. Vertical social networks can also exist in the forms of photos, videos, or presentations. How do we build our own social network? Now, this is quite important because, as I said earlier, social networks do not have boundaries. They can be local, regional, or also international. Social networks, building our own social network there are, let's say, some steps we need to take. The first one is to identify our community. This means basically, who do we want to work with? There are people who can help more our business, and therefore it would be worth our time to invest a little bit of our energies and our resources to identify the right community that we want to be associated with. Then we need to use these networks to help our growth strategies. Using networks just for the sake of being in a network is not useful at all, especially if we want to use networks to drive business or to generate traffic to our way. We need to define the features and functions of the networks that we want to use and how best to use these features and functions. Using also the right technology, and there are people who can help in helping us to point the right technology that we can use. Then we look also at the structure. What are the service features that we want to use, and the customer relationship activities that we want to develop with our customers. Designing the activity stream refers to identifying whom we want to work with, who are those actors that we want to be associated with. And finally, we need to identify the right channels, and again, there are plenty of channels available on the World Wide Web that can help to drive our social networks, promote us more, and then vice versa, bring business our way. How best to use social networks is the focus of the fourth part of section 1 of our unit. So this is critical. Using social networks is important. This is like publicizing who we are. What we put on the social networks is also going to reflect what we do on our business. So there is like a protocol, okay? How we behave in a community is also transferred on the social network. So we use social networks to interact, to talk, and to participate. And the more active we are on the social network, the more it will be helpful for our business. Publish content that encourages people to follow us. Blogs, for example, are used in this way. We need to be respectful and respond with respect to other persons. They are the more we follow users, the more we tag each other, the more we circulate and share information. It's not just doing a service to others, but at the end of the day, it's going to help us to build also our own identity. Customizing the content of our social media is extremely important. Our social media, especially in the business world, is there for business only. And we should not be mixing our own personal lives with our professional or business lives. Of course, taking care of things like spelling, grammar, visuals, etc. is important. And then there are a couple of, let's say, good practices, not to abuse hashtags, as well as not to saturate our followers with information. Social media helps us to discover new trends and ideas, and today it's very important. If you want to look up for something, look at what are the new trends, you go to social media. You connect with existing and new audiences in deeper ways, because you establish relationships with people, whereas before you wouldn't have done it. But as a result of social media, maybe even thanks sometimes to the fact that you don't need to speak to these people, it's sometimes easier to establish, let's say, a written communication, which will then develop further. Bring attention and traffic to your work, discuss this already, and build craft and enhance your brand. So these are extremely important. Using social networks is also useful, especially for the more innovative entrepreneurs, to stay ahead of the curve, learn what is going to come our way, and work towards it. It is also an excellent tool to build our own networks and our own profiles. The unit ends up by looking a little bit more in depth at the role of digital marketing. Any business, whether that exists online or a physical business, requires promotion for its growth. And the promotion involves communicating at the very, very basic level, communicating the existence of your business to the maximum number of people in order to convince them of your products and services. So this is the basic rule of marketing. Now, the digital marketing helps us to amplify what we used to do in traditional marketing manifold. It is an intrinsic part of social media activity, and there are various tools that as social entrepreneurs you can use in order to make the best use of digital marketing. Of course, a note of caution, you have to sift through the information, you have to understand what is being promoted, because like anywhere else, there are also people who can abuse sometimes of our, let's say, innocence or lack of knowledge about digital marketing, and they can make you pay a lot of money, whereas with a little bit more research, you may find free resources or less expensive resources. Of course, it goes without saying that, like traditional marketing, digital marketing helps to enhance the branding and web traffic to your enterprise. So something about digital marketing is that anyone can do it. Okay, there are technical people that can help or assist. And again, we give you some insights here on how to actually make the best use of digital marketing. We end this module by assigning some homework, some take-home exam work that you can do in order to put into practice what we have discussed. So we give you some assignments on networking, social networking, how to build your own network profile, and how to create your own social profile. All our modules, as my colleagues previously have mentioned, also end with an inspiration, a quotation, a nugget of information that reflects what we have done in this section. Moving on to the second section, which I think is extremely relevant to all business, that of building our own business model. So a business model is, at the very essence, the blueprint of a company. It's the blueprint of any form of organization. Effective business models are specific and can be defined simply. You don't need to have a complex or a complicated business model. A few words to summarize the essence of your model. So business model defines how a company creates value for itself while delivering products and services that create value for customers. So this is why our businesses exist, because they have a value that we need to share with others. It is essential for any organization, and it is crucial for the success of a business. So you cannot start working on your own enterprise without having a solid business model at the very, very beginning. So a business model is a tool that is based on three specific areas. It is an economic tool because we need to make sure that our business makes financial sense. It is going to generate profit, and it has a long-term life. A business that is not feasible dies after a few years. It has operational activity. What are those elements that are going to make my company work? And thirdly, it is a strategic tool. It is a tool that helps me to add and to bring to the fore my value proposition. It has a clear management model. How am I going to make this idea work? How is it going to sell? Okay. In sustainable businesses and social enterprises, we work with something called a concept called the business model canvas. So the business model canvas, it's basically a chart which we create together with our partners, with our co-creators of our business, and sometimes also with our advisors. It is a canvas that helps us to relate all the important aspects of our business. So the key activities, the main partners that we want to work with, what are the costs, what are the resources required, what are the customer relationships that we want to establish, who are our customers, and what are the channels that we're going to use to generate business. At the very core of this business model canvas, there is the value proposition. What is or what does our business stand for? Moving on, we delve deeper into the social enterprise. Okay, the other partners in the project have already elaborated what is a social enterprise, but it was also imperative that in this chapter we look a little bit into what is the social enterprise. It is a cause-driven business whose primary reason is to improve social objectives and serve the common good. So it is a social enterprise is one that first still works for profit, because profit is essential, but it is one that balances the tensions. So we're not just for profit, but we balance the needs of the planet, the needs of the people around us, to that, or with the profit that we need to generate in order to continue existing and in order to continue making good. And this is perhaps a very crucial, let's say, distinction between traditional businesses and those businesses whom we term as social enterprises. Very often, it is women who run social enterprises. The reason being, very often, that across the world, women they have business sense, they have the ideas to make the business, but very often have not been given the opportunity to transform those ideas into profitable businesses, be it the societies that we live in, be it the cultures that we live in. Social enterprises are a vehicle very often for women entrepreneurs. Why? Because we tend to do business somewhat differently. And in this section, we look a little bit more in depth at female entrepreneurs, at women entrepreneurs. Of course, we cannot talk about social awareness in business without mentioning the Sustainable Development Goals. So social enterprises are self-sustaining change makers that very often do not depend on external funds, but of course manage to generate their own funds. Of course, as a social enterprise, we still need and we still bid for persons who can invest money into our organizations. But that's not the main driving element. Social enterprises operate on business management principles that provide efficient, innovative, and sustainable solutions. They are grounded in the environment around them. They are effective and affordable. And they adopt the principle of a bottom-up approach. So profit, as I said, is needed, because without profit, we are unable to move forward. But there is also the balance of the impact on environment. And when I talk about environment, I am talking about environment in its entirety. It's the community which is sustaining the enterprise and in which the enterprise thrives. It is the physical environment, it's the cultural environment, and the social environment. We look a little bit more into the Sustainable Development Goals, which have been now around for some years already, promoted by the United Nations and now forming part of most of the government's policies. They're also an essential part in social enterprise, in the way we do business as social enterprises. Why? Because we advocate through our own social enterprise that we want to engage with the community. And by engaging with the community, we are saying that, for example, we want to eradicate poverty because we want to promote business in a community, and business that gives opportunities to people in the community. We work with zero waste or limited waste. Why? Because very often we circulate activities in our own economy. We take care of climate. We are very much attuned to the needs of the community and the environment. Which brings us to the fifth argument that we tackle in this section, which is social enterprise as a means to help rural development and rural communities. Like the previous section, we look at exercises and also some inspirational thoughts. Moving on to the third section, which deals with the community, the making sense of in the business itself. So the first item is taking risk. Risk is part of business. If you're in business, you're asking for risk. Now, our role as business owners, as business entrepreneurs, is to manage risk, which means that we need to learn and to know how to do good planning, which will then help us to manage risk better. So what are the main risks that reside in a social enterprise? What situations stop us from continuing our own operation, and what action can affect our bottom line? These are some of the risks that as an entrepreneur, as a social entrepreneur, we need to look a little bit more in depth. And our chapter, our section helps those who will follow the module to understand these better and to manage them better. Understanding risk is learning how to manage risk. There are some tools, very simple tools that we can use to address risk and manage risk. And these are a risk spreadsheet, which it's a simple Excel file, identifying the risk and then mitigating that risk in order of course, priority in order of, let's say, danger. And also there is a risk register, which will help us to monitor risk over time. One aspect that argument, let's say, that has been associated with social enterprise is the issue of profit. As I mentioned earlier, profit is essential. Money is what drives our business. We cannot have a business that is not making any profit. But learning how to generate sustainable profit also means that it helps us to mitigate risk. Now, why do we need to have profit in a social enterprise? Primarily, it helps and it can go towards investing more into our business. It can help us to invest more into research and innovation. And it also helps us to attract more business, because we don't need to focus on having to make ends meet, but we are confident that we have enough cash flow, enough profit to be able to work and move forward. So this is why it's important. The second element we look at is making things happen. How to be proactive. Proactivity is essential. It's essential in life. It's even more important in business. So focus on what you do best and aim to excel it. And this is the secret of success of many business persons, be they social enterprises. Sustainability is crucial for success, and keep an eye on the cost. How do we avoid pitfalls? What are the main difficulties that we can do or create sometimes for ourselves? And therefore, how do we avoid mistakes is the focus of the third section, the third part of section 3. From my own experience working with my own businesses, I've learned something that starting out in business I didn't know. Learn from others. Had I had the time, the opportunity to learn from others, be patient enough to listen to success stories and failures of others, and also to be humble and ask, I wouldn't have made mistakes. Today, I know better, and I am able to proudly share this experience with others, like you, starting on business. There are three aspects also that we need to look at. What are the resources and the infrastructure that are at disposal, the context, and who is our board? Our board of directors helps us to drive the business forward. The board of directors is not a group of friends. The board of directors is people who help each other to take responsible action. We look then into some of the mistakes that we do. Over here, I'm not focusing on the mistakes. I'm just focusing on the solutions. So make and take time to focus. It's very important. It's very easy to be taken up into a vortex of activities, things to do, etc. But it's important, especially as people managing their own businesses, to take time and make time to focus. Understand and communicate your why. Why do we exist? Develop and communicate the impact story. Measure. Continue to measure and measure. Measure your profits, measure your success, measure your confidence. This is the bottom line for a successful business. Perfect is good, but finishing something, finishing not at one time is much better. We move then on to the reason of why social enterprises exist. Social enterprises exist because the nature of their business is different. So the mission, the fact that they are embedded in local services, and also that they take governance very seriously, is what differentiates social enterprises from business. Finally, we focus on social enterprise as an opportunity for employment. Social enterprises are a great way to generate employment. They are small, they are local, they are green, they are focusing on circular economy. They have shared values, and they have and can bring hope and employment in areas that are hard to penetrate. Finally, I thank you for your attention, and I would like you to check the full module on the link website that I have provided. I thank you for your attention, and I hope that you will be familiarizing yourselves with.
Thank you, Nadia.
Welcome.
We're no longer, thank you. Let me go back. Everybody okay there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Yes, of course.
Really good. Now I am going to.
Now it's Spain.
Spain, yes, Spain is going to be the star of the last moment. So it's your turn to introduce your video. So would you
Okay,
like to say something to start, or shall I now start the video? What do you like to do?
No, I'm going just to introduce 1 minute to introduce the video, and you can put our video and.
Okie dokie.
Okay, great.
Yeah, please
so
do.
I'm going to introduce my company. Just 1 minute. It's Gestión Estratégica e Innovación. It's an adult training center specialized in the areas of entrepreneurship and leadership. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm just putting in on. Yeah. Keep talking.
Okay, we put special interest in development of these skills, entrepreneurship and leadership for women and by women. And our staff has experience in project management in the educative field, and with a special focus in individual social inclusion, gender dimension, and employability. And Daniela, they are very happy to make this presentation, and we try to do our best. So to involve all the students, we create a video that we try to be funny, but also very constructive and very educative. We in Innovación, in Heinova, we follow the line, the work that is given by the continuous participation and involvement at all. So thank you very much. Enjoy the video.
Okay, here we go.
Thank
1 second. Let me share it. Just a second. Share my screen. Here we go. Can you all see?
Yes.
Yeah. Ready,
Yes,
steady,
yes.
go.
Let's go.
Thanks for watching. I'm Cristina. I'm Zaira, and Julia is Daniela. We are members of the innovation team, and today we will show you the modesty of the WISED project that talks about ethical value and sustainability. We divided our model in 3 different sections. The first one, ethical value. The second one, sustainable development. And the third and last one, good governance. In the first subsection, it discusses how the concept of the ethics is prescribed in the business world, and the reason why to implement a code of ethics in the social enterprise. The main ones are the benefits that the company will earn from its positive public image and the transport reputation. Because we know that the company's profits depend on how positive the company is considered. Sustainable development goals are a part of a wide-ranging discussion held by a large number of stakeholders and include broad sectors. For this reason, business focuses on community-based activities such as donations, arts, sport, or helping the most vulnerable people. Have a direct impact on the community in which they work. The concept of good governance recalls the idea of legitimacy in the sense that the management system as the concept of those in charge. Therefore, it has a means to give and delete the concept, which can be more likely guaranteed by theory and multi-party development. This concept can be connected even to the environmental field. In the case of environmental governance, sustainability is advocated as the supreme consideration in managing all human activities, and also political, social, and economic. The first section, ethical values, is structured in 3 different units. The goal of this section are understand the meaning and the origin of the word ethic, understand the reason to implement a business ethics model, understand how to develop an ethical program, reflect on internal organization, and understand how to involve the workers of the project. The unit 1 starts with the introduction of the origin of the word ethics and its meaning by Jan University. Ethical value makes a decision on how those values are perceived in the world and so by the different organizations world. This subsection of Unit 1 focuses on how and why we should implement a business model. First of all, it is important that each social enterprise respect ethical values, because business organization is affected by human activities. As a consequence, to the adoption of a code of ethics, the social enterprise will gain a positive public image, as well as encourage investment of other business. Lastly, 2 main aspects are important to implement the business ethics code. Setting up ethics training programs for employees and a monitoring department. This second unit refers to the development of an ethical program. The 3 most important aspects are setting value of the company, that are working in a transparent way, making the conduct of the enterprise clear and concise, and this will lead to a more effective code of ethics and will structuring the content of all employees as well. How to adopt ethical responsibilities in the employer and employee relationship. In the beginning, the company shares the corporate vision and the objectives of the code with the users. In this way, employees will be aware of the status, but some interactive case studies will be developed to help them. At this stage, we expect that people will be aware of their responsibilities and that they will be ready to adopt the code. So, after the theory part, in order to make this module more dynamic, at the end of each unit, 3 videos of the same topics of the section wait. Most of them are TED videos, part of movies focused on ethics and business ethics, or YouTube videos that explain in a short and clear way all the topic on the section. In this case, we have the one about section 1.
I had my own subtle experience with powerful situations. I was working for a company and I found out the CEO was doing something unethical and illegal. So I called a meeting with my boss, the CFO, and his other direct reports in a scenario that looked shockingly like the stock photo, and went to deliver the news. And I knew he would struggle. Although a very ethically driven man, the CEO was also a good friend of his. So I delivered the news and he looked at me and he said, I think we should do some more research and give it a little time. I was so dumbstruck by the answer that everything went into slow motion like it did when I was a kid playing soccer. And I looked around and everyone has their head down or is slowly nodding. And I was so perplexed. I know these people, they're good people. And the last thing you want to do is put more time between when you know and when you say in a circumstance like this. So I was confused, but the humbling part of the story for me is then my thought process goes to, maybe we don't have to do anything. Maybe it isn't such a big deal. I don't even have to say anything. And then I was given a gift. The CFO was called out of the room for a minute. And in that moment, I remembered, this is one of those moments. This man hired me because he believed in me. He believed I would do my job and act on our shared values when it was hard. So he came back into the room, I stepped back into time, and I said, we should go to the board. And he paused, and he looked at me, and he nodded, and we did. But what I will never forget is that I am, and we all are, vulnerable to situational influence all the time. It's just natural human wiring.
Well, after this kind of short videos, in addition, at the end of each section, we have included a practical part. In this case, the exercise aimed to check if the students have understood the difference between ethical values in general and ethical values focused on organizations.
The second section, sustainable development, is structured in 4 different theories that now we will explain you more in detail. The goals of this section are understand the concept of sustainable development, understand why SDGs are included, understand how to implement the SDGs in a company, and in the end, we find a successful example. Unit 1 starts with the introduction of what sustainable development is, and also it explains how the concept was perceived in the past and how it's perceived now. And it is called the new paradigm development. Companies can contribute to achieve sustainable development by different ways. For example, by managing their economic growth and competitive advantages, by ensuring environmental protection, and by promoting and implementing social responsibility. Unit 2 illustrates what are sustainable development is. To implement sustainable development in business, it is necessary to focus and implement different skills, such as customer care, excellent employer, and the role model of environment. In the end, it is explained by sustainable development rules
are good on business. When you add the profit to sustainable development goals, you can generate a new competitive advantage tailored to consumers and investors.
Unit 3 shows that the challenges we are facing today can create many new opportunities. For example, first, the innovation, and second, the development. Therefore, there are many benefits for organizations that incorporate sustainable development objectives. And for example, they can count on market opportunities based on the environmentally friendly solutions and technologies. New companies can integrate SDG goals into business strategy simply by picking the goals that matter the most to them and making improvements, making investments, and making priorities on them.
Unit 4 explains that the urgency for global cooperation comes from the increasing awareness of the problems that our society is facing today. Instead, in the second point, we find the definition of sustainable entrepreneurship. Sustainable entrepreneurship can be described as entrepreneurship and innovation for sustainability. In here, we can find a successful sustainable development story. The first municipality in Spain, Villa throughout the use of the pro-landing transport, has installed a self-consumption solar.
So, even in this second section, after the theory part, we have 3 videos on the same topic discussed in the second session. And these 3 videos are about the first 3 units. Most of them are TED videos, YouTube videos, and also we have a song of SDG goals. Now we will show you a short video on business and sustainable development.
Welcome, everyone. We're here to discuss a crucial and urgent agenda that will have profound implications on our company, but also far beyond the 4 walls of this boardroom. It's time to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, and what they mean for business. The SDGs were agreed upon by world leaders in 2015. These 17 goals are a universal framework aiming to tackle our most pressing social, economic, and environmental challenges on the road to 2030. These are big goals, and they aren't just goals for the developing world. Every country has work to do. They'll transform the world we live in for the better. But what role is there for us as a business? Isn't this just something for governments to deal with? Quite the opposite. The truth is that these goals can't be achieved without business. Businesses like ours are the driving force, an essential part of the process. But it goes further than that. As much as the SDGs need business, long-term business success hinges on the goals being realized. Let's look at the SDGs from 4 key angles. Environmental and social challenges are limiting growth and costing us greatly. The SDGs can reverse these trends. Let's act early and manage our long-term risk, stay ahead of policy developments, and protect our competitive position. Doing nothing will be a costly option. Business solutions that align with the goals stand to open up at least $12 trillion per year by 2030. We will also create new jobs and better support the communities we operate in, helping us build trust with our governments, shareholders, and customers. Better information equals better decision-making. Disclosing sustainability risks and impacts and pricing them appropriately is where the market is headed. Finally, achieving the SDGs is beyond the reach of any one company. We must work together. So integrating the SDGs into everything we do will help our organization become more competitive, more resilient, and ultimately more successful. Together, we can turn these goals into business action, resulting in a more prosperous world for everyone. It's time to take action. Let's be part of the solution.
In this section, we can find a total part. We have 2 different exercises. In the first one, students are to write two important skills for organizations to implement sustainable development. In the second one, two questions are provided to discuss in group sustainable development applied to the business world.
Now let's talk about the section 3 that is called good governance, and it consists in only 1 minute. The goals of the sections are several. For example, we have understand the definition of good governance, or also understand the 5K principles of the governance structures, or also understand the importance of the job security. We have also managing social enterprises through empowerment, and so on. We have managing social enterprises through participatory management.
How we can see in this unit, good governance structure is based on 5 key principles: accountability, participation, fairness, openness, and transparency. This concept consists in different components. For example, one of them is legitimacy. Legitimacy means that the management system has the concept of mutual accountability, and therefore has the means to be and then the concept.
Now let's talk about the governance structure. The government has a critical role in the formulation and implementation of economic and social policies, development projects, and private sector supports and coordination. The good governance is closely related to some concepts, for example, the job security, the empowerment, the participatory management. Now we can analyze each concept. About the job security, we can say that according to the World Organization, the welfare of companies is measured by the health and well-being of their workers. For example, the pay remuneration, the job recognition, and personal opportunities. Now let's talk about the empowerment. The empowerment can achieve the optimal benefits and the members of the work teams, and the organization will have full access and use of critical information, possess the technology, skills, responsibility, and authority to use information and take any action around it. What about the participatory management? The participatory management allows to create more transparent environment, and especially it leads to increase staff the staff confidence.
Also in the unit, like different sections, 3 ideas were included, and the topics are, of course, on good governance and its structure. Now, we will show you another short video in order to better understand what good governance is, and we hope that you like it.
Welcome to this webinar, which will tell you absolutely everything that you could ever possibly need to know about corporate governance. So let's begin with the definition. Corporate governance is the system by which a company is directed and controlled. It contains 3 critical words: system, directed, and controlled. As with all systems, it is essential to keep focus on the objective of corporate governance. And the objective is actually quite simple. It is to make better decisions. Corporate governance is not simply a regulatory compliance issue, but in effect, corporate governance actually enables the business to be more successful through better decision making. The key to the effectiveness of corporate governance in an organization is the flow of information. For example, it's critical that the right information gets to the right people at the right time. There are also, of course, dangers associated with information. Not enough or inaccurate information leads to ill-informed decisions, whilst too much information means you can lose focus on what is actually supposed to be important. So apply the less is more principle, but do so with care. The most common serious failure is ineffective follow-up of decisions made. Therefore, agenda item number 1 in any committee must have 2 clear elements. Have we done what we have said we would do, and did it work? Only when you can answer yes to both of these questions can the item be considered and dealt with effectively. Other critical areas relating to the success of corporate governance include challenging the decisions and recording of the challenges made, simplicity so that the system is both accessible and easily understood, and finally, honesty, making sure that people feel confident enough to actually state their mind. So sorry about my comment at the beginning of this session when I said you'd learn everything you needed to know, but at least you've made a start. Bye for now.
Like the other section, we have practical exercise about the good governance. We also have answer case and some nice algorithm as a source of inspiration. All these features, like the other ones of the other sections, are very simple and they can stimulate the attention of our students. So now we are at the end of this presentation. We will say thank you for watching to everyone. It was a pleasure for working with you. We hope that you will learn a lot and you will enjoy a lot. Bye. Bye.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for the effort. You did a lot of good work, and I have to say I'm really impressed. So thank you all. Now, I don't know if any of our participants have any questions. So this is a time to ask the question, and we will hopefully give you some answer. Okay, Nadia? Can you take over and ask your people if they have any question?
Yes, I can. So, anyone has a request for a question? I see.
Don't be shy.
Well, we've had a couple, some requests.
Yeah.
One was, one was if we can have some support as a result of WISED project. Can we provide some support to anyone starting a social enterprise, namely the participants that we have in the team?
Can I just answer that one first? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The support, I think it would be coming maybe directly to the people that we're working with in our home country, because it's going to be impossible for Spain to answer to the question in Malta and Turkey to answer. So the idea is that as a project, we put everything together, we produce the material which can be used for each one of us independently, but the training that each one of us will run in our country then will give the support to the people that we're working with directly. Does that satisfy you as an answer?
Yeah, I think in fact I was thinking on the same lines.
Good.
And of course we will be establishing a link with all the local participants. Definitely our project website can serve as a, let's say, supporting backbone to the team. And of course, then if there are specific realities or specialities that each and every one of us is responsible for, we can also maybe relay or suggest a person could, directly ask maybe some further information. However, I think at a local level, each and every one of us has a network, has a knowledge to be able to support the needs and requirements of our participants.
Thank you, Nadia. Can I ask everybody, if you don't mind, just to put the video on, because this is the end of our presentation. I'm recording this, so just, at least they can see that we were all here. Anybody else has got question? Nadia, do you have any question from somebody else?
No, I don't see any in the chat. Are there any other questions?
Can you ask people to put the video on? Because as I
Yes.
said, I'm recording this and can't see anybody. Lucy, Angelica, Glo, Christina, Zaira, Diane, Sergio. Just for the last minute, can you please show your face so then we can actually finalize this training day?
Yeah, maybe
Thank
we
you.
can take a picture as well. Can we?
Well, I'm recording, as I said to you initially, I have been recording this training, which then I'm going to send everybody the link. The training will be available for each one of you to access. Obviously, it's up to each partner to decide where to put it and what to do with it. Did you all receive the link for the training number 1?
Yes.
Yes? No? Maybe? Hello?
Yeah, we will
Did
be.
You did. Okay, that's all I want to know. So, thank you for your participation. Make sure that you are filling the register, as I said to you for today, Nadia. And for each other partner, make sure that you complete in the register when you do the training in your own country. It is really important for me to have that evidence, which you can then scan and send to me. I will have to put the details on the website for the final report to prove that actually we have done that. We will then, I just want to thank you, all the participants from Malta. Thank you very much for taking part of this training. I am going to ask all the other partners of the project to bear with me for another week or so until everything will be actually finalized and uploaded, videos and so on. And I will talk to you soon to organize the final conference that we will have virtually in beautiful Czech Republic. So hopefully Lucy will give us access to beautiful pictures to show us what we've missed and what we can dream of, okay? So unless anybody else has got anything else to say, thank you for this day. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your understanding. I know that we're not any of the Hollywood filming company, but we've been doing our best. The reason why we do what we can is because we are social enterprises. So we use what we have the best we can. But this should actually be more encouraging for anybody who wants to start something, say that everybody can fail and there is nothing wrong with failing, as long as we keep strong and keep going. So, thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you very, very much, Carlos. Thank you very much, Shakir, Julia, Katia, Patricia, Milena, Jennifer, Nadia, Lucy. Lucy, I already told you, but never mind. Zaira, Sergio, Angelica, Christina, Glo, and Diane. Thank you very much. Hope you're going to have a wonderful day.
Yep.
And I hope what we put together will be useful for you in the future. And keep in touch by the website. Let us know your successes, and we will celebrate with you. Okay?
Diana.
Bye.
Yes?
Will be a social event after the conference in Czech Republic.
Well, we're planning. We will, between us, we will plan something. So we are thinking about it. Now we got to put our thinking hat and try to be as happy, as efficient as we can. Okay? Anybody else has got to say anything? No?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much for your participating. Goodbye. Have a lovely day. And hopefully we'll see you soon again. I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm going to convert it and later on send it to the project managers, which will then pass it to everybody else's. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Diana, for all your help.
Thank you so much.
And
Goodbye.
everybody else.
Bye.